Hi guys, good afternoon. After a long break, I'm coming back with a video continuing on the topics in regards to telesales. And today I wanted to discuss two techniques, two different sales techniques learned by two different teachers. So today I wanted to show you a little bit and compare, and maybe like we can discuss together. This is like the open QA question to every one of you, and you might want to comment. The two techniques of looping. So I know that you possibly know the technique of looping by Jordan Belford. How Jordan is explaining the technique of looping is that it's happening right after the first presentation and after you have asked for the first time for the order. So after doing the first presentation, you just then are eventually confronted with an objection of your customer. Let's say he says, I have to think about it, and then you do instantly you go into the looping mode by asking, for example, but what do you like about the idea? How does it sound for you? And how do you like the idea so far? So, and then you just go into the business intelligence gathering mode, and you get back to the presentation again. So the other method I learned about looping is with my German teacher, Tim Taxis from Germany, who also is a very well known and one of the best trainers for cold calling in Germany, when not the best. He was considered to be the best trainer in 2016 and got an award for it. So his method of looping is very similar, but it does not include the repetition of the presentation. So what you do with Tim Taxis, you ask questions, and when someone is giving you an objection, you just loop back to the original question. What is the main area of his interest, and you just still try to figure out the basic needs and the basic problem you need to solve by asking qualifying questions. So just to give you the difference, and what I would like to put under discussion is during Jordan is just looping back to the presentation and uses the power of repetition to enhance the client's certainty about the product, yourself, and the company. The way how Tim Taxis is doing is just that he's looping back to the main question about the main client need. So this is actually what I would like to discuss with you. I would like to know your opinion, what you think is the better method. But I will give you like a short example. Let's say an example of Jordan Belford. It would work that way, that you make your elevator pitch, you make your entry, and you go until the moment where you do the first presentation. The first presentation gives away the main benefits, the main value your product is offering to the client. Then the customer is not lay down. It's not what you call a lay down. He doesn't instantly buy, but he just have objections. Let's say he says, I want to speak to my spouse, and I want to speak, or I just have to think about it. And in this situation, you just then don't give up. You don't let him go off the phone, and you don't let him think about it, because this means that you possibly will be not able to get on hold on him. Just an example, but you just ask him then which kind of what did you like most about this idea? How did it sound for you? Did you like the idea in generally? And then he speaks more about. He might give you another objection, and through the methods of objection handling taught by Jordan Belford, you actually bring him back after leveraging his certainty about the product, yourself, and the company, so he's able and willing to watch the presentation again, and then you use the power of repetition. So the way how Tim Taxis is doing this, he's not presenting at all during this scheme. There is no presentation at all. You actually enhance the whole cycle, sales cycle, by asking questions and letting the customer reveal his need. So you don't need to present it all. There is no sequence, no front end, finishing with the first time presentation, and you also don't go back to a second presentation, which might be a little bit different as the first one, as Jordan Belford suggests, but you just ask very, very straight to the point, but in a way which is subconsciously influencing the customer to answer these questions about his main need. So I spoke about this in my other videos, that there are five main questions which every customer asks himself during the cold call, or not only the cold call but mainly the cold call, as this counts as the main challenging art of call. And the questions are: who is calling, how long will the call last, and what does the caller want from me, will I benefit, and which kind of benefit can I get from it in concrete. And this kind of question is subconsciously running through the customer's head through the whole conversation. So what Tim Taxis is doing differently is just knowing that as long as we are asking the customers questions, and he understands from our how we position the questions that we really want to find out, and we are expert, it's in our field, that we are just looping back to the main question about his needs. So let's give it a concrete example. With Tim Taxis, instead of a main presentation, you would ask, so let's say someone is selling I don't know, anything. Someone's let's say, like, oh, let's say you're a trader, you're a broker, and you sell, like, you know, a trading platform, and then you say, okay, what is actually the thing which a perfect broker should be able to do, so you will be interested to get to know, to have a look into it. Actually, you engage the customer and let him think about the question you ask, so he doesn't run off with his thoughts to other topics. Yeah, so this is how I understand the difference between Jordan Belford's way of looping back to the from the first to the second presentation. It starts after the first presentation, after you asked your customer for the first time for the first order, and then you loop back until the customer is willing to watch another one, and then you enhance, like, the first impression of your first presentation with the second one, and maybe you need a third one until you're able to close. And the other method, which I introduced to you, is like something where you just don't really need to present, and where you eventually, like, make a very short statements about what your company is doing. Let's say, like, we are a market leader of what did I say? As in forex trading platform, just as an example. Yeah, and then you ask very, very thoroughly prepared, subconsciously effective questions to find out actually what's going on from the customer's perspective. And you engage the customer that way with these questions, so he actually reveals the problems, and you get then to know if this is something which is fitting into the solution you can sell. And the thing which I would like to know from you guys, how does it sound for you? Does it sound interesting enough for me to give you some examples in the next videos, how it works out, like in a role play or in a concrete example? And what do you think would work best? How do you feel? Which kind of method is better? Is the method which obviously has the advantage of repetition and showing the client a current product within proper presentation, and sometimes this will be needed, I think. better, or would you think that when making the picture, or like letting the customer speak until he actually creates the picture of his need, and you discuss with him the solution, but based on his own statements, if this is a better way to do how to do it. So this is it. Thank you very much for your attention. Give me a thumb up on this video. Also subscribe, and I will be doing more of these videos more regularly now. Thank you very much for joining my channel, and speak soon. Bye bye.